my question is, can you imagine being the person who accidentally started a fire?
She accidentally?
She did not do that mess on purpose.
What was the thing she was doing?
She was trying to boil water.
She said, and ran away. What she could have used the water to put out the fire.
Apparently the water had bear urine in it.
How do you know it was bear urine? How do you say?
Yep. Bear urine.
That's grizzly. Domestic.
Welcome to Random Ass Convos with Twilla and Dion.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another incredible podcast. September 30th is today.
Episode 28.
It would have been perfect. It was September 28th, episode 28th, right?
Oh, man. Should have recorded sooner.
Yeah.
What you been up to, yo?
A little bit of everything. I've been featured on a lot of podcasts.
You have.
It has been fun. Work with my friends.
Yeah.
Just gotta open your mouth up, man. Shout out to my boy To Hear More. He has single-handedly been the liaison of a lot of the work I've been part of. I have a episode of Wording with Friends. No, wording is hard.
I was like, that's a game.
Wording is hard. Harder. And All Deaf Digital Squadcast.
That's what's up.
Yeah. What else I do? I think I have.
You've done some daddy issues in the past.
Oh, yes. Yeah. In the past. And I have a Black Blasphemy episode coming out.
Oh, man. Well. That's fun.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I love to see it.
Yeah.
You've
How
been
about
like
yourself, man?
You've been like this, like behind the scenes, working quietly, like planning your comeback in front of the camera. I feel like, and all the hard work and stuff that you've put in behind the scenes, I see it paying off.
Yeah, man. Open your mouth.
Yeah, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. My life is currently still our LTE studios. For those of you who don't know, we have 2 studio locations. More recently, the main studio, our first location, which we've just celebrated 2 years, our 2-year anniversary. We called it LTE Visions, and now that we have the 2 locations, we wanted to join it together. So we officially have LTE Studios. There has been a lot of redecorating, a lot of remodeling. Now we're more so in the marketing and getting it out there phase. So if you're watching this, you got a shoot coming up, you need an event place, hit us up, man. Mm-hmm. That is both of the places, like, we get wonderful reviews, and it's something I'm very proud to work on, and just growing that. So that's been a lot of my life lately. Yeah,
and it's looking amazing.
Thank you. We took a break last week.
I didn't.
Oh, you did a podcast?
I didn't take a break. Why did we take a break last week, Twills? You want to tell the people what happened?
I don't remember why we took a break. We were both very super busy and working on deadlines, and Dion was like, for productivity's sake, I think we should take a pause this week. Mm-hmm. And I was like, gasp. But then I was like, he's right. Mm-hmm. So, yep. Now we're back. You hear your boy R.Kelly? I'm not going to say your boy, but R.Kelly was found guilty on all charges. We don't know what that sentencing will be, but Bill Cosby had to come and open his mouth on that.
What he done said?
Bill Cosby said the guy was railroaded, and then he went on and said he blamed systemic racism for R. Kelly being charged. And to that I said, oh boy, Bill, just hush up.
What does that mean?
Like, so to be railroaded means like he didn't have time to actually prepare his defense. He blamed the defense lawyer, what's her name, Gloria Allred, who represented the victims. And then he said, like, because he's a black man, he's being punished.
No, he had time to prepare, because this was like a 15-year head start. He could have prepared his life and changed it around. Well, like he got evicted. What do you call it? Like indicted. Mm-hmm. 2004. Mm-hmm. He had a 16-year head start to prepare for this
Yeah.
next case, man. Change your life, man.
Man.
What bothers me, man, and I said this in private, is R.Kelly was my favorite R&B singer, and to strip those memories from me is really difficult. But I have to, for the sake of protecting black women and the victims, and it breaks my heart, because it feels like someone cheated on you, and it's like you can't just eradicate the love for that person. You can be disappointed, and you hope for rehabilitation, and hopefully you move on and just cherish the memories, but you have to secretly cherish the memories because it triggers so many people.
Yeah. You know, so two things came to mind. I guess my first one is when you, like, knowing who R. Kelly is, like, if you hear his music, does your mind go straight to, dang it, R. Kelly, or is it like, yeah?
Yeah, because
so
it's like, because it literally is a high, like a sugar rush. I'm like, oh, I remember this. Oh gosh, R. Kelly, brother. I was like, man, because it's like one of those like, oh, y'all taking me back, and it's like, damn it, this is R. Kelly.
Yeah, I
can't even enjoy this outwardly. It's like, because this dude is a savage. Just imagine, I'm not trying to put this on any celebrity that's out there. You can just put your own celebrity in the fill in the blank. Imagine your favorite R&B singer, rapper, actor is the head of a sex ring or has, peddled drugs or is a kingpin in Mexico, and you'd be like, damn it.
Yeah.
All those like outwardly expressions, those concerts you went to, and it's like, I can't even support this no more.
Well, like there was after they did the verdict, there was a bunch of people sitting outside of court playing his music. Like his supporters was just like, screw that.
I mean, it at this point, people need the actual experience to understand, like, oh, this nigga's crazy. This nigga crazy. Hey, the answer?
Yeah, we got a Pure Space guy. They wanted to do 5:30 to 7:30 instead. Okay, well,
we over here working, y'all. We got some money coming in, so I will. You can go ahead and talk.
Okay.
And now tell the people that R. Kelly is a scumbag. You have put holes in my brain that I have to be removed, and they had to be having some corks to topple my holes in my brain, because you have single-handedly ruined pieces of my life.
This is work, y'all. Y'all see this?
Yeah, we working. We working.
While I'm doing this, I would like to say, just update, because I know I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago the strike. Is that you?
Yep.
I had mentioned that the Hollywood crew, union crews, are planning on striking, and that is still like we go up to a vote on Friday, and I think we'll find out by Sunday if we're indeed striking. But basically, what that looks like is that if the strike is authorized, nobody is going to be working union crews for like the next.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, but I know you need to talk, because I don't think these people understand how important that is. Because only person I heard talk about this is you. So for the masses, the people that don't know what's happening, you will have to really break it down in the simplest form, because in the past 6 weeks, you're the only person that's talked about us. And I know a lot of people in the industry. And
there's a lot of people who's not union, so you'd be surprised.
Yeah. So I don't know why you gave me an alley-oop for something I had no history on.
Okay, I got you.
No, it's cool. I will keep prolonging this conversation, because obviously Twilla over here making us some money. But you had to ignore me, so you don't have no mumble jumble conversation over there talking to our money. But for the most part, it's, in every union, some sort of money situation happened that I don't know if the writers or directors, everybody that's in the union of SAG and AFTRA, they're saying they're not getting paid properly, and they're requesting for more money. I think it's because of the streaming services, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So it's primarily that the streamers. So our agreement with new media is currently, has come to the end of it. And so the idea is to say that new media is no longer media. Change the time. New media is no longer new. So what's considered new media is all the streaming services such as Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus. All those type of things are considered new media. And back in the day, like when everybody was doing web series on YouTube, that agreement allowed us to use union workers, but for less of the rate. And it was really great, especially for like independent and experimental things.
Okay.
Now our budgets are way bigger. Like these are TV studio budgets.
Right.
But our rate has not increased. They're actually really, really low. And so what the IATSE members, the union members, are saying is we deserve more pay. But not only do we deserve more pay, we deserve better working conditions, like living wages and better working conditions. And if you follow, there's a couple of IA IGs, Instagram IGs, and one of them is IA Stories. And it's all these stories of crew members under horrific living conditions and working 15 plus hour days, and like the quick turnarounds, and how you're always sleepy, and how you need to go to the doctor except you can't go to the doctor because you're working 5 and 6 days a week, and how your body is just pretty much crashing. And like I've said in the past that I can testify for myself, or other friends whose bodies actually break down on these jobs, and how it's not healthy. So it's like you're rushing to create like this movie in 2 months, whereas because people are
running out of money.
Not even money, it's like people's schedules, it's all these type of things, and instead of trying to flush it out for it to be done over 3 months, 3.5 months, it's like, well, we might lose this actor, we might do this, and they don't care about the below the line crew. Wow. And it's really, really taking its toll, and people are like, no more. And it's gotten worse in COVID. So, I'm saluting my
but you ain't
brothers
striking,
and sisters. Though. I am voting yes, absolutely.
But you ain't out there with them picket signs, are you?
Huh. I'm going to go. We have a couple of events. We have a couple of events you'll see me at. I'll get my car chopped up and...
Chopped up?
Chalked. You can get... when they're doing like window chalk things where you can write strike, support IA, those type of things.
Okay.
So all local 871 I support.
That's not, you just do a gang sign. A gang. What's that? Local what?
871.
Local 871.
But I also feel like it's the time that we're in. A lot of workers are not satisfied. I think COVID brought a lot of things and highlighted negative work conditions. So you had of course, fast food workers, Amazon workers, all these people striking. Amazon workers trying to get a union, I think, in certain cities, and they were able to unionize. And then you have, I read actually today, the supply chain workers. These are people who make sure goods get from one manufacturer to the stores. There's been a complete breakdown in just the supply chain. So I don't know if you've experienced trying to find something and they're like, oh, the shipment hasn't come in today. We've been having issues with shipment. I know people who were getting furniture and it was 8 months wait to get furniture. And if you listen to any economy news, they were like, you need to start buying your Christmas stuff now because there's no guarantee that stuff will be in stock. So it's just a breakdown, and these workers are saying they're quitting because they're like, our conditions suck and we're not doing this. So I feel like it's kind of a revolutionary period of power to the people.
Anyway, no one cares about this.
Dang, Dion.
No one cares.
You will care when your life is super inconvenienced because workers aren't working.
So I can't say no one cares. It sucks it sucks, but it's not my world. So
Yeah.
So it's like one of the things of like somebody's like, hey, we have to figure out how to scrub the muck out of the sewage. You be like, we should, but it's like I'm not going to invest that much time in it.
Yeah, it's the nerd part of me, like, who's like, this is like another industrial revolution. This is when people and the workers are striking, and it's a exciting time to actually see people fighting against big corporations to give them their due. So.
Twilla be finding the most selfish topics.
How's that selfish?
Because it's only about you.
That is not. I literally talked about supply chain workers.
These make you happy right here. It's like, yes, my people.
It wasn't one of my topics. It was just did you know?
This is the selfish topic. Hey, y'all, guess what?
It literally impacts thousands of people.
Hey, y'all, guess what? Forever 21 has 25% off on...
Yo, don't play with people like that.
Spaghetti strap bros and leopard print t-shirts. And guess who got one?
If I had a co-producer, maybe it'd be more balanced.
That's why it's called Random Ass Conversations with Twilla. ...
Stop trying to change up the name, Dion. First topic. Are you ready?
That wasn't... I thought R.Kelly was the first topic.
No, that wasn't a topic. I have literally these.
Here we go.
Did you know?
Watch this topic be specifically about Twilla's life.
Shut up. This one's called Lit Ass. So recently, a 30-year-old woman was arrested for starting the Fauna Fire, and that's the fire up north California, in Shasta County, up north, close to Oregon. She was attempting to boil water while hiking to Canada. And so 85,000 acres have burned, and Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency. The fire has been burning since September 22nd.
Jesus.
She is currently facing 9 years in prison. But my question is, can you imagine being the person who accidentally started a fire?
She accidentally?
She did not do that mess on purpose.
What was the thing she was doing?
She was trying to boil water.
The funny thing is she said, and ran away. What, she could have used the water to put out the fire.
Well, she said she was thirsty and she went to find like the water, and apparently the water had bear urine in it, so she tried to boil it. She tried to first use a tea bag to like...
How did she know it had bear urine in it? How do you say?
That's bear urine.
That's grizzly. Yeah. Domestic.
And so then, like, she was like, she tried to boil it out, but she said it was kind of hard to start the fire. So I guess she thought it just didn't really do anything, but then it... Keep
your ass at home. This is why we always supposed to stay at home.
I feel like that's the most anybody could accidentally
so
do.
Many things to unpack here. So many things. How do you know it was bear urine? If you went to a creek and you've seen water coming from a bubbling brook and you scoop the water up, you be like, wait a second, what is that right there?
Yellow tin.
Pour it out and then do it again. Unless she had a bucket of water far from a creek, the bear peed in it.
No, she got it from the creek.
Oh yeah, she is wild. She's still high. Secondly, when she started the fire, she could have took the water and stopped the entry point, unless it was on a brush or something like that. It just went. Yeah. Third, she's driving home in a panic while the fire is chasing her. Like,
well, she actually had to call 911 when the fire surrounded her.
Yeah. Oh, it went all around her. How long did she try to put this out? And I thought she went home and was like, I think I should turn myself in.
No, they found her there. And I'm not like, okay, first of all, like, we know we weren't in a drought, so there's a lot of like parks that are like, please start no fires today, like no bonfire, nothing, because California's extremely dry. It's in, it can incinerate pretty much. Just
so is she homeless or she did this on purpose?
She was hiking to.
Damn it!
Or no, she was trying to hike to Canada, so she was Northern California.
So if she has she's by herself.
She was by herself.
So if she has experience, when you start a fire, you're supposed to push all the brush away.
Right.
all the pine is supposed to be only exclusively dirt around, unless she was like in the middle of the night, paranoid, like terrified.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is my only light.
Man.
Secondly, I always find it funny when a paramedics come in to check on the person, and then they find out that they have to ask them that difficult question of like, "Ma'am, you okay? You okay? You okay?" The hell was you thinking? They have to break that
question.
What was you doing?
Not, do you know what happened? Who started?
No. Because they know. Because if they telling themselves, "Is he okay? You have any burns, man? You have any burns? You okay?" It's like, why? Look at this place. My wife lives over here.
Oh my gosh! Like, you imagine, like, you're already responsible for burning thousands of acres. 8,500 acres so far have burned. And then imagine like houses and stuff. Like, you gotta feel like crap.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, and then she has that title, arsonist. Like, it wasn't. It was like arsonist suspect, and it's just like, well, I didn't purposely do it. Am I still an arsonist?
Right. I mean, what if it was a husband who was doing the piñata with a bat and ended up striking his wife on the accident? Is he a wife beater?
That's a horrendous scenario.
You said an arsonist. So she's like, I didn't do this on purpose.
Right.
So it was like, what if she was like, she was doing the thing like, piñata, and he struck like, pat, and then knocked her out. And it was like, hey, husband playing piñata struck his wife. Like, hey, you're the wife beater, right? It's like, slow down. It was an accident.
Involuntary wife beating, to be exact.
Right.
Oh my gosh. They said so 6. They want to do 6, just sent payment. Keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. So y'all being part of this business right now. So as we speak, we are in the location where the client wants to rent out. They went from the hours of 5 to 7. Now they're switching it to 5:30 to 7:30. Now they have pushed it from 6 to 8. So this is the tedious business we have to go through every single day. So that means either we have to stay here until they arrive, or we have to come back to open the door for them.
Yeah.
It's tedious.
Don't worry. Soon enough we'll be hiring somebody for
this. Is the business aspect that people don't talk about.
Yeah. People don't talk about
They don't talk about the hardship. The how much of customer service, more customer service is important, is a part of this than making the money.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's more customer service than anything.
Yeah.
More accommodating than anything. Because we know how important the value of a review recommendations is.
Yeah. I think it's actually, because this is like, of course it's a studio, so it feels like film and entertainment, but it's also mixed with hospitality. So that's kind of where we're in that world that we live in. And Dion's clearly much better at it than I am. Surprise.
What do you mean by it?
Like, I really think you're really, well, I'm good at the hospitality and making things feel welcoming for a person to come in. But I think you're really good at that customer service, talking to people, because I just be like, and here's the bathroom, and here's the internet. Yep. And Dion be like, hey, what's up? Welcome, you guys. Like, he's definitely way more friendly than I am.
Yeah, you're a mean person. Yep.
That fazed me none.
Mm-hmm.
Next topic. All right. Famous ass. This one's about Will Smith. Did you see his new GQ article?
No, keep talking.
Okay, so Will Smith was interviewed in the latest edition of GQ. And it was a really, really good article, and it was really because it got to get a little bit more personal with Will Smith, and he talked about several things. One of the things he talked about was not wanting to do slave movies early in his career, and how he said trauma and insecurities drove him and his relation. And then he talked about his relational truths with Jada Pinkett Smith. So one thing that was interesting to me was him talking about the slave movies, because right now he's doing
Emancipation.
Yeah. Emancipation and another one. It's 2 films he's working on.
King
Oh, King Richard is the one coming out, and then Emancipation is the one he's filming now, or something like that.
First Lady movie.
Yeah. And just like where he's at and how he's viewed that movie differently, because it still has like an action part to it and a hero aspect. And he said growing up, that's kind of the films that he wanted to do. He was like, in this interview, he's pretty much like, I wanted to be Eddie Murphy in Star Wars. Like, I wanted to be that big of a name in a movie that big. And then he just, he spills so much. It's a great interview. You should read it. Mm-hmm. But one of the things he said in his statement was talking about how, like, we as Black Americans are in the present being granted so many global opportunities. So he's like, I want to encourage Black Americans to take acknowledgement and seize upon the present global opportunities. I would like us to just argue less about certain things and pay attention to the big ripe fruit. And he goes deeper, pretty much saying like, there's so many good things that we have happening right now because of the marches that were inspired by George Floyd and how the world was still, and everybody saw what happened to George Floyd, and everybody was like, this can't happen anymore. Mm-hmm. And how it just presented all these opportunities. And he's like, we kind of have to like stop arguing about little things. Like, for example, he said, when we say defund the police, he's like, I'm not saying I disagree with defund the police, but maybe marketing wise, we need to think of a different name. And then he said the same thing with critical race theory. He was like, critical race theory is a good thing, but maybe we could just call it the truth theory. Like maybe we just change how these names are so that in a place where people want to actually do good work, it doesn't put them off from what's being said or what we're trying to achieve. And I thought like that was a pretty interesting and bold statement to make during this time.
Sure.
And just curious, like, where do you stand? How do you feel? Have you ever thought about like those things that we say when it comes to like defund the police or
so this has nothing to do with Will Smith. Just actually, should we change the name of it?
Yeah, like marketing wise, do you think like he
Nope.
is
I don't think we should change it. I think we shouldn't accommodate for what people don't like to hear. It's like saying, why are we calling it Black Lives Matter? Can we call it something else? Like, no, Black lives do matter. BLM is a terrorist group. Can we call it something else? Can we say the Black, the movement? Mm-hmm. It's like, no, we want to be very specific before it gets drowned out. The message gets drowned out.
Yeah.
Like defund the police is very specific. What I think when it first got introduced to the world, defund the police got pegged as take away all the money from the police or remove the police from neighborhoods versus literally take away their pensions and their retirements. And like if you do a crime, it's like removing that money from their vacation. So like now they kind of like rethinking like, oh, now before I shoot this person, I'm about to lose my whole.
Right. There's going to be real consequences.
We're going to be repercussions, yeah.
Or like, hey, we're not going to militarize the police. The police don't need tanks. So we're going to take money away for tanks and maybe put that money into communities.
Right.
Yeah, I think, I see the heart of what Will was trying to say to that. But then it also, in that interview, it talks about how for so long he always has tried to people please. And although he's working on that, and I kind of felt like that was what was coming out when he said that, because it's still kind of this aspect of pleasing people, even though we don't have to please everyone. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think everyone, in a sense, people please. I had this discussion with a couple of comedian friends of mine, and it went from, do you care what people think? And of course, everyone's gonna say no. Mm-hmm. Like, but we're in a business where you need to care what people think.
Yeah.
It's a call to action. If I say something, I need for you to laugh. You can't just be like, I don't care what y'all think. This is funny. It's like, no, that's the objective of being a comedian. You care what people think, and then that will sometimes merge into your life of, if I do something, I need you to enjoy this. So if I buy you something, I need you to enjoy this. If I, say, hey, you girl, I need you to enjoy this compliment, even though it's not a compliment to her, but it's like, it's the, forget you, Dan. I don't care what you think. And it's like some of that kind of translates to, I care what people think.
Right.
So we all definitely care what people think. The problem is I think, stay true to what you believe, but also, be cautious on how you say things and what you say to people, because it can come out wrong, and your idea of what is funny or a compliment may be triggering or a problem or an issue. The what will have to happen on the other end is you understanding that this is a problem, an issue, or insult. You, instead of saying forget you, or I don't like you anyway, or y'all don't know what funny is, you have to say, I'm sorry, I was out of order, or you don't gotta block that person. Just like, hey, we have different thoughts, and I made a mistake because I didn't know that was a triggering word, or I didn't know that was an issue.
I would say reading, but listening to the audiobook of The Four Agreements, which is a book my therapist told me to read, and it touches a lot on that people pleasing aspect. And one of the things is, like, sometimes people will say stuff to us where, like you said, like, you don't have to be offended if somebody doesn't find it funny or is triggering.
Right.
But on the other end, like, also, like, I being the person who might be on the receiving end of that joke, who was offended by it, also need to come to a point where I could be more like, I don't know what his life was that allowed him to say that, or what position he's coming from, so I don't take that personally. I don't accept it. It's a really good book about just like the agreements we have to make to ourselves and to better love ourselves, and not be so shaped by the words in this world that we live in. Like, in the world that we currently live in, we're taught by society and our parents on what is accepted and who we should be and things like that. And this one's kind of helping break free.
Let me ask you this. I'm gonna say it clear. Let me ask you this. So if a comedian had a joke, a whole bit about, my mom would beat me with a race car track so hard that it ripped the skin off my back. My stepfather was a police officer. He comes home, and immediately I wanted to tell on her. I was gonna call the police on her. But what she did was, she immediately put me in the headlock and said, I love this boy so much. You want to go to Kings Island? You want to go to Six Flags? I love this boy. But you looking like, dude, that really happened to my mom. Like, my mom used to beat me. It's no laughing matter. It's not funny. But in my story, I found the humor in it. And everyone's laughing. Shout out to that made up joke right there. I just made that up. But in you look like that really happened. And that hurts. And after the show, you come to me like, yo, watch how you present these jokes, man, because it's triggering. I had to go to therapy for 7 years because of that, because I have to, denounce my mom for many years, and I'm just getting over that. Who's wrong?
So, in this case, and I'll say in this particular case, because one, it's that comedian's story, like that comedian's personal story, and how they choose to share that story, I don't think there's room in how they tell it. But the truth is that it could be very triggering, and maybe that's a thought that, having that conversation could be a thought. It's like, I never thought how it was triggering to other people. Maybe I need to incorporate that more. But don't stop telling it, like, if that's your healing or you learn to get through it, like, that's probably offering somebody else a perspective. So I can't say that I see somebody being wrong in that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would say thank you for coming to the show. This is my story.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change it for you. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is my story, and this is my story to tell.
Yeah.
It's like if a woman who was physically abused, and outwardly went on a View and told her story.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody go on like her DM and say, "Hey, don't tell that story no more." Like, no,
Right.
this is in my book.
Right.
I'm going to tell this story. It's like, well, your story is very similar to mine, and I, it's like, no, this is my story. I have to tell the story.
Where I do see the issue is when somebody is telling a story or a joke that is not their own to tell, kind of.
Oh yeah.
So like when you're talking about somebody else's abuse in your joke, that's kind of a hard pill to swallow, because it's like you saw somebody else's situation and figured out how to make light. It feels like you make light of it, but you haven't actually gone through it yourself.
That's a thin line right there, because there's a lot of comedians see things in the public eye and then find the humor of it from telling their story. Like countless R.Kelly jokes, not even caring about how the victims are being treated. Countless Monica Lewinsky jokes. Countless Bill Cosby jokes. Anything that's huge, comedians will find the humor in it, and it's not their story to tell, but they will find a way to segue it into a bit. Like there's literally a joke right now of it could be a double triggering thing, like a male rape in prison, and somebody has a joke about R. Kelly being raped in prison and all the songs he's gonna be singing while he's getting raped. It's called Sodomized, right? I don't know if a man has been sodomized and been triggered or traumatized from it, but the fact that R. Kelly's going in jail
inspired
all these jokes of all these, and then somebody has there's a bunch of parodies of him going to jail singing his parody songs. Yeah, and it was like is this funny? But it's like I see the humor in it, but I'm also thinking about the victims. Yeah. Of like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think in life we just have to recognize there's like certain consequences. Like Monica Lewinsky actually talks about how it was, like she was in that position as an intern. Like that means she was still in college, right? And how that, like we say her name and we know exactly what that is. And like this woman had to go on, get a job, be able to pay for life, facing being like the actual butt of jokes for so long, and what that does to like and she was the victim in this case, right? It wasn't like the president was in power, she was the victim, but she was made to look a certain way, and that has to play on your self-esteem and your confidence and everything, your will to live, all those things. And she talks about having to deal with that, and it's like, man, at the time, because I was young too, like I didn't think about it in that way, but it's like, man, she really had to go through some stuff over that incident.
But she's actually really funny.
Is she?
I watched an interview of her, and she said she's gotten over it. Her name is obviously synonymous with that. Yeah. She said one of her friends had a 90s party, and she was like, Monica had found out, and she was like, "Hey, I heard you had a 90s party coming next week. Why didn't you invite me?" And she was like, "Well, I was going to invite you, but I figured that was the time period that you were trying to avoid." It's like, "No, I'll come with the dress." I was like, "Yes."
That's great. And I'm sure it took some healing and stuff on her part to get to that point.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, she's funny, dude. And she was like, she's like, a lot of guys always ask her. They say they don't ask her, but they try to avoid like fellatio while she's dating. And she's like, the topic of like, oh, I don't know who you are. Like, you know who I am.
Literally the name. Right,
Monica Lewinsky. And she was like, guys always be like, I'm dying to know how is your fellatio? How was your head game?
At no point did she be like, I'm gonna change it up to Monique L. Or something like
Moni.
Y'all ain't calling me Monica. What's her middle name?
Yeah. Well, she looks exactly the same.
Well, you know.
Yeah, you got to turn your hair blonde, put it in a ponytail.
Yeah, wear shades all the time.
Shades, yeah.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, pun intended.
Yes. I was like, dang it, I walked right into that.
She did too. All right, what else you got?
Oh, we got the last topic for today. I'm still like shaking it up. Why?
Yep.
All right. This is dumbass.
Oh.
Okay. So, scientists want to clone woolly mammoths. A company called Colossal just got $50 million to clone the extinct animal, but to create, through genetic engineering, a living, walking elephant that would be visually indistinguishable from its extinct forerunner. We want to bring an extinct animal that was roaming with the dinosaurs back to life.
Yep.
What in the Jurassic Park is this?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
That's your answer to this?
Why not? Don't you want to see a woolly mammoth?
I could go to the museum. And the thing is, let's say this. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever found, like, an intact woolly mammoth specimen. Or are they just assuming that this is what the woolly mammoth looks like? This is what we presume that it does and what it looks like. So we don't know what we're getting in real life.
Right. But I think woolly mammoths got a bad rap. What if they're like puppies?
Like little tiny ones?
Yeah. I mean, we know their bone structures are a lot bigger than that, but what if they're like...
Those are the forerunners to the Asian elephant. So they know. So basically what they're doing is inserting this DNA into like the elephant embryo type thing so it can form as a woolly mammoth, and then they're going to they're thinking about doing a dish or using elephants as surrogates to birth the baby woolly mammoths. So, and they're saying like scientists have already cloned endangered animals, and you can sequence DNA extracted from bones and carcasses of long dead extinct animals. And they said proponents are saying by bringing back the mammoth in an altered form, it could help restore the fragile Arctic tundra, combat climate crisis, and preserve the endangered Asian elephant, who the woolly mammoth is most closely related. And this is happening, like, we should be able to see the woolly mammoth in the next 4 to 6 years.
I think we should start them off on Antarctica. Just to see what happens. They can survive the winter, right? When I see it in film, I'm assuming they can survive the winter cold.
Right.
See how they react. Study them from afar. Let them run amok, if you will, before we bring them over to the mainlands.
But it feels like such a slippery slope, because what's stopping people from being like, oh, they're doing woolly mammoths, let's bring back the great lizards.
The great lizards.
Great lizards.
As opposed to what other lizards?
Well, I think that's the literal breakdown of
dinosaurs
or terrible lizards, something like that. Great lizards, something like that. Whatever.
The funny thing is when there's a description in animals like the great white shark.
Not that other white shark.
Oh, he's the great white shark.
Not the okay white shark.
Oh, he's great. Like, he could have been just a white shark. He's great.
But is there a mediocre white shark?
And why it gotta be white? He's not even white.
Well, compared to the other shark.
Yeah.
He light skinned it.
Right. Right. Because there's no other white sharks.
Right.
So it's like they were fine by calling it the white shark.
Right. It's like, that just doesn't have that same punch. What about the cool white shark?
Cool white shark. The blue white shark. It's not even blue white. Well, it's like blue, right?
Yeah.
Or the biting shark, the biting white shark, because it bites. No. I think amazing shark. No, we already got that with Spider-Man. Okay. So we can go with the great white shark.
The fact that you said it like Tony the Tiger.
And also killer whales got a bad rap.
Not the whales that are nice whales, but the killer ones.
Right. And those are what they call porpoises. You know?
I know nothing about
dolphins and whales are. It's a word like Porpoises.
I thought porpoise was a different animal.
Come on, man. What is that species?
A mammal. They're
No,
mammals.
it's something like porpoises. Porpoises. I gotta say it now. What is a porpoise?
Here's the definition of
Yeah.
porpoise. A small-toothed whale with a low triangular dorsal fin and a
So it's like a
blunt-rounded
whale.
snout.
Huh?
It's a type of a whale.
See, dolphins? Yeah.
It's a small toothed whale.
So
Like that. That's
why they showing dolphins then?
they're showing a porpoise.
They showing seals. They showing, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I don't know.
Like a porpoise orgy. I did that. Yep. See, look at that.
Difference between dolphin and porpoise.
Okay, you're right. I don't know what the difference is. Yeah, man.
I really want to know, like, what happens. I'm still concerned that we're gonna have Jurassic Park happen in real life
So what?
in the next.
It's
20
time.
years. Have you seen Jurassic Park? All of them.
Can we reverse? Yes. Yes.
And you're fine
So
with this?
no.
Okay.
So what I need is for them, if they can figure out how to remove seeds from watermelons, they can figure out how to. I'm gonna tie it all together. They can figure out how to capsulate a bunch of water from the ocean, and then like a carrier, like a twin jet from Avengers, and then drop it on the fires, but also figure out how to keep the ice from melting. Global warming, right? If they can figure out how to do that, they can figure out how to keep things intact. Why can't you have, if you can figure out how to hold trillions of terabytes in the cloud, you can't figure out how to hold water in the sky to drop when fires come?
So you still concerned about them?
I'm concerned with why does fires last for like 6 weeks?
Yo, seriously, California, like Northern Cal right now, and even down to Central Cal, like the last week was smoky. Did you look outside the windows and it was just like
Oh yeah, I thought
the
that was
Sequoia National
Yeah.
Park, part of the Sequoia Park was on fire, and we got some of that cloud.
Yep. I smelled that.
Yeah.
Is there a way we can just have like a vacuum for the ocean? I mean for the ocean and the smog.
That would be dope, actually.
It's a purifier in your house, right?
Yeah.
To purify the air.
LA needs a huge purifier.
Huge purifier.
Right over downtown. Like, it's just those days where it's just brown. Why is the sky brown?
Man.
China has to figure that out, too, because their skies.
I think this is what they need to do. Like, this is the earth. They need to like this.
We would all die.
They need like, cause it's all the smoke right here on top of the earth. It's like this. Just shake it up a little bit so that it went so fast. The smog was like, whoa, we outside of the ozone layer, and we'd be good now. We'd be like, yo, I can see clearly now the rain. Even though it'd be tsunamis, hurricanes.
We'd all be dead. Some of it, like, just moving, like...
Fast.
That fast, on even the tiniest degree, it just would shake up oh my God.
Or...
Another invention, please.
Really quick. Back to the number time. Like, so...
It'd be the next day, it'd be tomorrow.
Yes. So it's like... We're going to skip a day, guys, but we need to do this to get the smog out of the atmosphere really quick.
But if they couldn't figure out, like, oh, snap,
We
it's
can't
not
stop.
slowing down.
We can't stop it. We can't stop.
Everybody just holding on.
We are aging like, oh, I'm 63 now.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I do appreciate your imagination, but I'm glad you're not like one of the scientists working this out.
Damn. I hate that there's smog. You just got to deal with it.
Yeah. I
hate that there's so much trash in the ocean. Like I wish there was like a way you can just kind of scoop it out.
Yeah.
Like if there's a way you can push all the water out and it scoops it up and take it away.
Yeah, man. Then we find some sea creatures we'd be terrified of. I don't know if you want all that.
Hey man, They said it is. I think it says like 360 miles deep of ocean water. That's the deepest part. Miles. 360 miles. That's the deepest. The deepest.
That's terrifying.
And they went, and I seen like a little diagram. It went from like the biggest whale, and then it was like the Empire State Building, and it was like two, tallest buildings on top of each other. It kept going down. Like,
no,
yeah.
I've seen some of those, like those graphs that show like what creatures live at what levels.
Yeah,
and they look like aliens.
Yeah, because they don't see light. I'm sure they say the same thing about us. Have you seen people that walk on the land?
Ariel, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got feet.
Oh.
I'm looking at how deep the ocean is.
How deep is your love for me?
I'm terrified of.
Tell me what it's gonna be.
It says on average it's 2.3 miles deep. So the deepest part of the ocean.
Tell them. Tell the people.
Oh God, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Is that feet or miles?
That has to be feet. Let me see it. Let me see how much 36. First of all, how y'all know? How y'all know it's 36,161 feet?
I put a ruler down there.
Because the thing is, if you drop an anchor down there, that's a lot that can get tangled on that. All right, y'all.
Yeah, I was really into the ocean. I was like, oh man, this is
Cake
scary.
by the ocean.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe to our channel to get notifications. Like this video, share this video. Thanks for listening on Spotify. Thanks for watching on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate you wherever you support. Until next week.
Toodaloo.